On this episode of Captain's Tales, we are skirting a tropical line of storms, trolling plugs over shallow water structure for the arm-yanking rock hugger of the bottom, the Florida Grouper.
Man, almost doubled there. And come on, baby, Daddy's got some hot grease waiting on you. You know what I love about these fish? Attitude. Look at it. It just oozes attitude. He's mad. He's like, you give me one chance, I'm taking your thumb.
Throughout maritime history, there have been experts on the water who knew how to navigate and locate their bounty. These individuals held the secrets to where, when, and how. This still holds true today. Get ready for an angling experience filled with sea secrets, fantastic fishing, and great destinations. For on this show, it's only the captain and the camera. On this charter, we're headed out to the nearshore rock piles and structure holding the spunky and tasty Florida Grouper with Captain Donnie Kish. Navigating our trolling plugs adjacent to a threatening line of thunderstorms that's being held off by the offshore breeze can be a little intimidating, and Captain Donnie keeps a close eye on the changing weather conditions. Captain Donnie has perfected his own method over the years to be successful at this shallow water trolling technique. The technique today is trolling large plugs over structure at varying depths to tease the grouper and elicit a voracious strike.
It's my technique. I was taught by a guy who fished a lot heavier, because of the Goliath grouper, or a major problem here. But I found that fishing that heavy and fishing that heavy a drag, you lose a lot of the grouper that you're after. So I fish a lighter fluorocarbon leader with a little bit lighter line, which means I get more of my grouper in, but I lose most of the Goliath, the big Goliath. 200-300 pound Goliath is going to smoke me. I'm not fishing heavy enough to turn them. So I lose a lot more plugs doing it my way, but I wind up with more grouper. Let's put them out. If it gets close, well, too much closer, we're going to have to either go further out or further in to get away from that. The good thing is I don't see any lightning in it, so we've all been wet before. So we'll get them out and see if we can't get some in front of this little storm. Lining up on some bigger structured marks. He ain't ginormous, but he's one. I guess I had the depth right on that. The reason I'm keeping going here is because the Goliaths hang around these big piles of structure that the grouper do. If I stop right away and start reeling him in, they'll come up and eat the grouper on you. Once you get it away, man, almost doubled there. And I know every guide out there is now cringing because all we do is fight people trying to reel fish in, instead of pumping them in. But I found with the grouper, because you're trolling the plug at 5 miles an hour, it rips holes in their mouth. And if you start pumping them, it'll put a little bit of slack in the line if you're not real careful. And you just tend to lose a lot of fish doing that. And basically, I just leave it in the rod holder and wind them in nice and slow, and they come up to the top. And once I get them up about yay far, I can go into neutral because I'm away from the piles. And this is not exactly what you'd call sporting, but if you think about it, there's not much grouper fishing that's sporting. Grouper fishing is about putting meat in the box. And this is very effective. I have to tell you, the strangest thing that I've caught out here, I caught about a 10-pound mutton snapper trolling these plugs out here. I couldn't even believe this. A mutton would go after one of these plugs. Come on, baby. Daddy's got some hot grease waiting on you. Oh, nice gag. 23, 24-inch gag. You know, as soon as he came up to the top, I assessed where the hooks were at. It pays to have a net ready. A lot of times they're barely lip hooked, and you got to scoop it. If you try to lift them up like that, they'll be gone. You lose a lot of them right at the boat. But you can see he's got 2 sets of trebles in him. He was going nowhere. Well, in the live well. A little bit of working room here. You know, this D-hooker, you know, alias catfish flipper, actually works great for treble hooks. Most people don't think they work for trebles, but these things get a real good grip on the plug because these groupers shake, but they work even better than pliers for getting these treble hooks out of the grouper. Push the right switch. Come here, you. I like that. We had it out in between a couple of pretty nasty squalls and had one squall line just bearing down on us the whole time that we were trolling on the 40-foot stuff. I don't think it makes a big difference. I mean, a lot of people say yes, it does. You know, raining, fish are already wet, they don't care. You know, as long as it's not lightning, I'm not worried about it. I'll get wet, been wet before. And it cleared after that went by us. It cleared up great for most of the day. And then right at the very end, we had another nasty thunderstorm come in, and there was some lightning in that, so we beat feet. But I really don't think the rain or anything affects the fishing. We started out at about 42, 44 foot of water and went deeper to 46 to 48 foot of water, and, well, lost a couple of plugs there on large Goliath grouper and the pile, so didn't really want to stay there any longer, so we went back in shallower to about 30 foot of water, well, 35 on the next spot, and then jumped all the way back into 30 foot. And I tried out a couple of smaller, the 25s, but I really didn't have very good luck with them. I like the big stretch 30 Manns troll and plug. It's real versatile. You can fish it real shallow or pretty deep. You know, it's the size, I think, that makes the difference. That smaller bait, you wind up catching smaller fish. I mean, you might have noticed the only thing we really caught on the small plug was a little small grouper. I don't even think we filmed it. It was so small. But I know that I was like to point out, if you wind up, you've only got 2 rods, say, with 40-pound braid on them. The other way you can stagger them is to put like a 4-foot 60-pound leader on one and a 10-foot 60-pound leader on the other. And that extra 6 foot of leader will actually make that plug swim out further and give you enough separation where they'll pass underneath each other. That's a real handy little trick. 60-pound fluorocarbon leader, about 6 foot of it seems to be perfect. It's still, the leader's not so long that the plug cuts the water good, but they don't see it. You get more bites, and you'll definitely see the difference trolling regular mono leader, you could take 60-pound mono and put on there and troll the stuff and not get one single bite, other than maybe a Goliath grouper, and turn around and put 50 or 60 fluoro on there, and on the first pass nail a nice gag. So it definitely makes a difference. Anything shorter than 4 feet, you tend to get a lot less bites. Putting the leader on, I do a double line. Yeah, you can do a bimini or a spider hitch, and then just a double uniknot to the 60-pound, and then tying the plug on. It's got a ring up there, so really it's not real important. You can use a uniknot, or I use just an improved clinch knot, and it seems to work fine. I'm not bringing back any curlicue or pigtails, so I am bringing back a lot of empty leaders, but that's usually from hitting the pile or the Goliaths. Yeah, the Goliaths that are 200 and 300 pounds, with that much structure, you just can't do anything with them. I mean, we hooked one today that had to go 200-300 pounds, and even keeping the boat going at 5 miles an hour, 30 pounds of drag, couldn't even turn the fish. I mean, it was like we weren't even there. So that's just a plug on. I've seen some shows of guys up in North Florida trolling for grouper, and they were adamant that only troll dark, subdued colors. Because Goliath grouper like the bright, shiny stuff. I haven't seen a bit of difference. I've trolled red and white and chartreuse on the other one, and when the bite's on, the grouper eat any color that I've put out there. And same thing with Goliath grouper. No color is Goliath proof. Unfortunately, I wish there was. But yeah, the Goliath grouper, they're not preferential. They'll take purple, white, chartreuse. They don't care. I think if it goes by at the right angle and they can catch it, they do. And same thing with the grouper. I've trolled some obnoxious looking chartreuse plugs that I thought, okay, only a Goliath is going to eat this, and caught 3 or 4 big keeper gags on it. So I really don't think the color makes a big difference. Probably, I would say, an average day. It's 2 nice gags, 2-3 nice gags, and a couple nice red grouper. That's an average day of 8 hours out there trolling, which honestly isn't for everybody. Some people get bored with it. Other people complain at the end of the day that they got a bad crick in their neck because they can't take their eyes off of the tip of the rod. Yeah, they're just glued to it. They're so fascinated with the way the bite is and bottom. I'm one of those that's fascinated, although I got to drive the boat, so I keep a hand on it. I can feel every little thing. But it's a love-hate thing. You'll either love it or you'll hate it. No matter which way you go, it produces good fish.
The skyline of Marco Island looms in the distance as we continue trolling.
It's too bad they're not a little bigger. It need to be about an inch bigger than that last one. Swim that. Oh, he might keep. Okay, it looks good. Put it in the boat. He looks just a hair bigger than the last one. That looks like he might be going in the box. Okie dokie. I think this one might be the right size. Look at them hooks. Top of the head, that's gotta hurt. Watch your sore feet. Of all the days to leave my boga grip in my buddy's boat. Nice red. Now look if you can hear that or not. He's drumming away. Dum, dum, dum. Angry fish. Alright. That's a 20-incher. That's all it takes. bonus fish. Oh yeah, this is a good one. I have to go neutral on this baby. Yeah, this feels like it's going to be a better, you know, a 30-inch plush gag or a baby Goliath. Feels more like a gag though. Yeah, he's still fighting up here, so it's probably a gag. And he's getting close. We should see color pretty soon. Back that drag way off. Oh, it's a good one. See the color? He's fighting so hard because the plug's hooked backwards, but it's still a good fish. See how he's... I'll use my little pick gaff for this one. Come here, you. But that's a 29-30-inch gag. It's a good one. And they seem to be liking this mullet color today. As both of those fish came off of this plug. You see how weird he's hooked? You get that a lot. Yeah, you're thinking, God, this has got to be a 40-pound fish, and you get it up, and it's a 10-pound fish hooked backwards. Well, yeah, I know. You're angry. You know what I love about these fish? Attitude. Look at it. It just oozes attitude. He's mad. He's like, you give me one chance, I'm taking your thumb. Not today, Slick. This will be the first one I've actually got away from the structure on this spot. So I'm sitting here going, well, maybe he's got my 5 other plugs in his mouth. I see yellow. Yep, I see yellow.
This productive trolling technique can produce many species of fish, and sometimes the king of the grouper family, the tackle-testing Goliath grouper.
All that fuss, and you see he ain't but 40 pounds. But he pulled like he was a Mack truck. I don't see any other plugs in his mouth. Okie dokie. Hi. You gonna cooperate? Probably not. Yeah, I see you. Spin over. I know it. Goodness. I know it. Goodness. Don't you spit on me, you nasty bugger. Oh my God. You belched in my face. Whew. Yeah, you haven't lived until a Goliath grouper's belched in your face. Yeah, you don't have to worry about venting them here. See ya, butthead.
Join us again next week for another episode of Captain's Tales. Join us again next week for another episode of Captain's Tales, and try one more fishing spot online. Log on to www.captainstales.com.